Here, okay, perfect. So, getting set up over here and on Facebook. Okay, very good, guys. Hey, wow, and my dogs just came down to join me, so you may get to experience the Archer Robustelli household canines. Hopefully, they won't be chiming in during this live, but you just never know what they're gonna do. So, really, I was thinking this morning about what's the message and what's most helpful right now. And the idea came of how do we plan a successful second quarter in the midst of uncertainty? I don't know about you, but for me, every 90 days, I'm doing a quarterly planning. And right now, my quarterly planning looks a little bit different than it usually does. Hey, Timothy, glad to see you on this morning. I'm live both on Facebook and Instagram, so if you see me kind of going back and forth, that's what we're doing. Super, super excited for everyone who's joining live. So when we think about planning for second quarter right now, what's going on in the world right now, you can't change that, right? And I think the first thing we have to do is really embrace the mindset that uncertainty can be a good thing. If this were happening, or let's say if this weren't happening, and I was planning for my next quarter, I'd probably just be going along doing the same thing I've been doing for quite some time. And what I've noticed is that with everything changing so quickly, it's actually created a space for more creativity, for me thinking differently about my business. And so if you are right now doing your planning for the month or for second quarter, whatever it is, I would encourage you to really have the mindset that, hey, uncertainty can be great, and it creates the space for new ideas. It creates the space for change. It creates the space for innovation, inspiration. Some of the greatest business ideas that we're going to have in this decade are going to be born literally out of what's happening right now. And so the first step is not to fight what's going on, but rather to say, okay, uncertainty is going to help inspire me and propel me and help kind of give me the space to think differently about what I'm doing and about my business. One of the things that I see people making mistakes with, though, when it comes to planning right now, and even just how they're running their businesses right now, is they stop taking action. And I think sometimes when the world feels uncertain and when you feel like you're not sure what's happening next week, next month, let alone in the next 3 months, which is a fair way to feel right now, but it doesn't mean you need to stop taking action. And I've just heard and seen things from people saying, I'm just kind of on pause right now. I want to wait to see what's going to happen. And quite frankly, I think now is a time for some grounding. It is a time to get quiet. It is a time to reflect, but it's not a time to stop taking action unless that's what you're being spiritually guided to do, which I have not been spiritually guided to do that yet. And so unless I am, I'm going to keep going. The other mistake that I see people making is feeling like they have to stop selling right now. And I want to have us all really wrap our minds around it is more important for you to sell than ever right now. If you have a product or service that will help someone, if you have maybe it's a coaching program, maybe it's a digital product, maybe it's a service-based business, but something that will help people need help right now. And so just because you're hearing, and it's like we say this with so much compassion for everyone's business who has been dramatically impacted, if yours hasn't, you do not need to borrow other people's worry, okay? And I hear a lot of people talking about, well, I don't feel confident selling right now. I don't feel like I should be selling right now. It doesn't feel right. And it's not that you can't do something extra. Like I'm doing extra things for my clients to help them out right now, but I haven't stopped selling and I'm not going to, because what's the point, right? If you're going to help the economy and help boost the economy. Hey, Rifat. Oh, good morning. I didn't see you on here. Yes, selling is a form of service. Exactly. So we want to be really, really cautious of, like I said, borrowing other people's worry and saying, well, because other things have slowed down, that means I need to stop selling. Not the case at all. So what I wanted to share with you are these 5 steps that you can be taking to plan for second quarter, even in the midst of everything that's happening, to help make sure that you accomplish your goals, whatever those may be. And so the first thing that I would encourage you to do is to pause. The first step is you want to pause and evaluate what really matters to you right now. And I'll tell you guys, I had some goals for this quarter that I was planning on going after. I was planning on getting our backyard landscaped. I was planning on getting all new furniture in. And it's not that I might not still go for those things, but with what's happening in the world right now, it also made me really pause to say, what's actually important to me? And what do I really want to focus on bringing about in these next 90 days? And the thing for me right now, just as we prepare to have this baby this summer, is childcare and making sure that we've got nanny service set up and childcare set up. And so as I evaluated and reflected even this morning on what are the things financially that I need to be planning to pay for in the next 90 days or getting saved up for in the next 90 days, it was really, what the thing that matters more than anything right now is having effective childcare. And that was it. And so it really helped me hone in on what actually matters. And for you, you may have set financial goals at the beginning of this year and have things that you wanted to buy or create or do. And you don't necessarily have to let this stop you, assuming that your business is still running, right? Or maybe you need to pivot your business model a little bit, which we'll talk about in a minute, but just really get grounded into what actually matters for you right now, not what you're hearing from the world, not what you're seeing everybody else do, what really matters for you. Hey, Flashback, good morning, glad to see ya. So that's the first step. So we're talking about 5 steps to plan for a successful second quarter, even in the midst of uncertainty. So the second step is to be attached to the what, but not the how. So you want to be attached to the what, but not the how. And this is something that I learned from my mentor, and it's been so helpful to me. I don't know about any of you guys who are in any form of business development or a revenue, position where you got to sell for your company. And sometimes we get so hung up on like, oh, this customer is going to be my customer. They're going to help make my quarter and blah, blah, blah. And then it doesn't come through. And it's kind of like we've made that person God, right? And so especially right now, what you want to do is learn to be attached to the what, which is what is your goal? What is your financial goal? What are you looking to create in these next 90 days? But be open to how it happens, because I tell you, I don't know about you guys, let me know in the chat if this is happening for you right now. My business and just the model it's shifting relatively quickly in terms of what I'm offering, how I'm working with people, what I'm seeing that people need. So I know that the way I thought I was going to accomplish my revenue goal this quarter isn't necessarily the way I'm going to do it. Now I'm attached to the number because there's a purpose for that money and there's a purpose for what I'm bringing in, but I'm really open to how is that meant to be brought in. And so that's one of the questions that you can ask yourself as you're planning is, figure out what your revenue goal is, what you're looking to accomplish in the next 90 days. And then you can simply ask yourself, and if you're spiritual at all, you ask God, like, how am I meant to bring in this money? What is it, a program that I currently have? Is it something new I need to create? What is that? And you can be attached to the outcome, but not how it's meant to come in. So that's the second step. The third step to planning out your second quarter is to reverse engineer. So what you want to think about is, based upon where you want to be by June 30th, what are the goals that you need to accomplish month by month over the next 3 months? So create your vision of where you want to be by June 30th in terms of business. We're talking a lot of business today because that's what I focus on. That's my specialty, but it can be health, finances, business, relationships. Where do you want to be by the end of June? And then reverse engineer. So where do you need to be by the end of May? And where do you need to be by the end of April in order to be on track for that? And then simply calendar out what those look like. So you'll figure out your monthly goals to make sure you're on track for your quarterly goals, and then calendar them out. I like to put my goals at the top of my calendar. So I use Google Calendar, and I'll actually have like an event that lasts from the first of the month till the last of the month. And I have my top, usually it's 1 to 3 goals for the month that I'm looking to create that month. Calendar them out. And then since we're in the month of April, you simply reverse engineer for the month you're in to week by week. So I would break down April week by week of what needs to be accomplished every single week in order to be on track for those monthly goals. And you simply repeat that process every month, and you adjust and you refine as you need, but getting it as close and as dialed in as you can right now so that you can take action, because again, that's part of being successful here. Taking action based on what you know, right? You're not going to necessarily see the big picture right now. You don't know what's going to happen in a month. That's okay. Take action with the best of what you know. That's what matters, and that's what's important. The fourth step, and this is one that I love, So if you don't keep a vision board, I tell you what, guys, it's been transformational for me. The fourth step is to update your vision board to reflect your 90-day goals. So on my vision board, I'm always working in 90-day increments. And I'll look at the goals that I want to accomplish, and it may be filling a program with a certain number of people, or it may be getting a certain amount of money in our baby savings account, or it may be like the landscaping for the backyard, right? Whatever it is, and I get visual images of what I'm looking to create in the next 90 days. And the power of doing this in 90-day chunks, I think a lot of times when we create vision boards, therefore, we create them for like our whole life, right? It's like, there's the mansion I'm going to live in when I'm retired. And not that there's not power in that, and it's not that you can't speed up the process of creating those things in your life. But I like the focus in 90-day increments because it helps you, it's long enough that you can do a lot, and it's short enough that you stay focused and motivated because you're not that far off from the end goal. So on my vision board, I use a magnetic vision board, and I'll put up pictures. I go to Amazon and I get pictures, or Amazon Photos, and I get pictures to represent what I'm looking to create in the next 90 days. I get those printed out, and then I just stick them up on the vision board with magnets. And then as I accomplish those things, I take them off the vision board. I write the day it was accomplished in a Sharpie on the picture. And then I just put it in a file in my office, and it's called Vision Board Accomplished. And it's super motivating to go back and look and see everything that's been created, accomplished. Just a lot of times we forget, right? We move on so quickly to the next thing that we don't stop to celebrate. Wow, look what you actually did. And so having that folder and having that visual representation of what you've gotten done is going to be a really powerful reminder for you if you're ever feeling stuck or feeling low. You just need to pull out that folder and remind yourself of how freaking awesome you are and all the things you've accomplished. So that's your fourth step in planning for Q2, is to update your vision board to reflect your 90-day goals. And then your fifth step is to create affirmations and visualization to overcome any limiting beliefs that could get in the way of you accomplishing these goals. So my final step in my planning process is I'll journal, and I'll look at what I've created and what I want to create in the next 90 days, and I'll just kind of journal about it. And I'll be looking for, are there any things coming out of me thought process wise that tell me this isn't possible, it's too big, I've never done this before, it's too hard. And what you want to do is actually be grateful when those things come up, because those are your limiting beliefs, and it's great to know what they are because then we can do something about them. Okay, so identify what are the limiting beliefs that show up for you while you're doing this process. And then for each of them, assuming there's different limiting beliefs, you want to create an affirmation around that limiting belief. So let's say it's, what could one of the goals be? Let's say your goal is, I'm going to bring in $10,000 this month, right? Just for example. And you notice in your subconscious, it's like, you've never done that. That's not possible for you. I would create an affirmation of, I create $10,000 months. $10,000 months are my new normal. I easily bring in $10,000 a month. I have $10,000 worth of value to share with the world and with my customers this month, right? Create an affirmation that supports you in the achievement of your process. And then every single day you want to repeat that affirmation as many times as you need to until it's just like second nature and your subconscious accepts it. And you want to be visualizing as well. What does it feel like and look like for you to bring in $10,000 this month? What does it feel like for you to open up your bank account and see that extra money in there? What does it look like for you to get that order for that $10,000 customer and be like, yes, this is it. Feel it in your body, feel it happening for you, and your subconscious will start to accept it as truth. So these are the steps. I'll do a quick recap if anyone has questions. So I'm live on Facebook and Instagram, so I'm kind of looking back and forth. If you all have questions or even comments, go ahead and type them in the chat as we go. But the 5 steps, just a quick recap, the 5 steps on how to plan for a successful Q2 in the midst of uncertainty. Number 1, pause to evaluate what really matters to you right now and be okay with that may have shifted from what it was in first quarter or even 2 weeks ago. Really pause to evaluate what matters. Second, you want to be attached to the what, but not the how. Third, you're going to reverse engineer the steps. So based upon where you want to be on June 30th of this year, where do you need to be by the end of April, by the end of May, and then by the end of June? Fourth, you're going to update your vision board to reflect your 90-day goals. And then fifth, you're going to create affirmations and visualization to overcome any limiting beliefs that could get in your way. Oh, hey, Matthew, so good to see you here. So guys, those are the 5 steps. Those are the steps that you want to take. And one other thing I'll say in terms of the affirmation and visualization part is I found it's most helpful if you do one at a time. So focus on creating one affirmation at a time, get that limiting belief reworked in your mind, and then move on to the next. So just super, super focused with this so that you can achieve your goals and rewire your mind effectively. So guys, I hope that helped you. Those are the steps that I'm going to be taking as I plan out Q2. Just so much love to each and every one of you. Send me a DM. Let me know, what do you need right now? How can I be of service? I'm offering, this is something I don't usually do actually, but I'm offering one-off laser focused strategy sessions for anyone who wants to plan out their Q2, get some additional help and support. Just send me a DM or a message and let me know if you want to connect on that. And anything else I can do to help support you, it would be my pleasure. So, all right, guys, I'm going to sign off and get on to my next meeting, but wishing you all a fabulous day, and I will see you all next Tuesday, same time, same place. Bye for now.